Welcome back everyone to another PDH Deck Tech. I'm Joseph and we finally reached the end of our tour through the Ravnica guilds, arriving at Simic, giving us arguably the most powerful color combination, green and blue. Our commander today is going to be Simic Guildmage. Simic Guildmage is a 2/2 elf wizard for Simic that has pay 1 and a green, move a +1/+1 counter from target creature onto another target creature with the same controller, or we can pay 1 and a blue to attach target aura enchanting a permanent to another permanent with the same controller. I was really intrigued by this commander because it's doing something I hadn't really seen in Magic before, being able to move around both counters and auras. Even better, we can activate this ability at instant speed, molding combat as we see fit and making things very difficult for our enemies. Now, a very cool thing about this card is that we don't actually need to be the one controlling the creature with counters or be the one controlling the aura. So we can actually manipulate our opponent's boards and cards and potentially wreck their strategies. This deck, like its commander, is going to manipulate creature strength through both +1 counters and auras, giving us total control over combats to kill our opponents. First up, let's talk about our +1 counter strategy. We're looking for a continual supply of +1 counters that will grow our creatures over the course of the game. For this, we're going to be looking at the Evolve ability, which reads, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it has a higher power or toughness than this creature, put a +1 counter on this creature. So early on the game, we're going to put down Cloudfin Raptor, a 0/1 with flying, or Battering Crassus, a 2/1 with trample. These are going to come down early, and then just over the course of the game, they're going to become very large threats. We've also got Bullet, a 3/3 beast for 3 and a green that has at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, put a +1 counter on Bullet. But we can also use Predatory Hunger. This is an aura enchantment for a green mana that has whenever any opponent successfully casts a creature spell, put a +1 counter on enchanted creature. Now this will really take advantage of the multiplayer format and could give our creatures several counters over a single turn cycle. We're going to support these cards even further with Longshot Squad and Crowned Ceratok. These will give each creature with a +1 counter reach or trample, respectively. However, our primary theme for this deck is going to be auras. Since our creatures will be getting stat bonuses from the +1 counters, that means we can dedicate our aura slots for more technical applications. Venomous Fangs is an aura enchantment for 2 and a green that effectively gives Death Touch. Powerful in its own right, but even more powerful when we can move that effect around at instant speed, making sure we always block favorably. And Cartouche of Strength is basically a fight spell attached to an aura, meaning we get both removal and a permanent +1/+1 and trample buff to our creature. We've also got Quiet Disrepair, a really flexible aura enchantment for 1 and a green that allows us to enchant any artifact or enchantment, and at the beginning of our upkeep we can either choose to destroy enchanted permanent or gain 2 life. We can play this on any of our opponent's key enchantments or artifacts and basically hold them hostage. More importantly though, we're going to use auras to debilitate our opponents. Fall from Favor is going to permanently tap any creature and is also going to make us the Monarch, which will give us a lot of card draw over the course of the game. Frogify is going to completely nullify any creature, not just making it a 1/1, but it will also remove all of its abilities, effectively meaning that it will die the moment it hits any form of combat. And Gaseous Form is a particularly interesting aura. This is for 2 and a blue and it will prevent all combat damage dealt to and dealt by enchanted creature. We can use it to either protect one of our creatures or neutralize an enemy creature, and when we move this around at instant speed, things are going to get very interesting. We do have to be careful though, because our commander won't allow us to exchange auras between creatures with different controllers. We can get around this with Floodtide Serpent, a 4/4 serpent for 4 and a blue that has it can't attack unless you return an enchantment you control to its owner's hand. So this will allow us to basically pick up and recast any enchantment onto new targets and new controllers every turn. Now one special creature in our deck is going to be Bramble Elemental, a 4/4 elemental for 3 green that has whenever an aura becomes attached to Bramble Elemental, create 2 Sapperling tokens. So this card's effect triggers whenever an aura is attached to it, not cast. meaning that we can use our commander to trigger this again and again, building an army of saplings. And, in case our stuff gets targeted, we can rescue them using Hubris or Raphello's Gift. Hubris is an instant for 1 and a blue that has bounce target creature and all ores attached to it to their owner's hands, basically saving not only the creature but also every single aura that we have attached to it. Raphello's Gift is a sorcery for a green mana that has reveal any number of green cards in your hand, and for each card revealed, we get to return an enchantment card from our graveyard to our hand. Alternatively, we can use Shielding Plaques. This is one of the few cards in Pauper that can grant lasting hexproof, so we can continue to buff our protected creature, and then we can move Shielding Plaques around at instant speed to effectively counter any kind of targeting removal spell. So, how are we going to win? We're going to use counters and auras to make sure we always control combat, and then we swing in and beat face. We're going to take advantage of the large number of auras in our deck with Beastmaster's Magemark and Infiltrator's Magemark. Beastmaster's Magemark will give all of our enchanted creatures +1/+1, and also whenever a creature you control that's enchanted becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature blocking it. While Infiltrator's Magemark will give all of our enchanted creatures +1/+1 and unblockable, except by creatures with Defender. These are powerful in their own right, but in combination with our large number of auras, they will become far more effective. But the absolute all-star of this deck is going to be Aura-Knotted. This is a 2/2 beast for 2 and a green that has creatures with power less than Aura-Knotted's power can't block it, and it gets +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield. This single creature is going to be absolutely massive and will be nearly unblockable for our opponents, making it a perfect finisher for this deck. And that is our Simic Guildmage deck. It's very flexible and very powerful. Just remember to keep 2 mana up so we can activate that ability. This deck is going to run us about $16, and the deck list is in the description. I really hope you enjoyed this PDH tour through the Ravnica guilds. I'm planning to restart the cycle next week with the Azorius guild, so tell me in the comments what you liked about this series, as well as any PDH commanders you'd like me to visit. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.